Purposely. Your life, God's purpose. Listen at purposely.com.
How do you get to heaven? Do I really have to read the Bible? How do I pray? Did Jesus really walk on water? That's a doozy.
The podcast where kids can get answers to their big questions about faith. Here's your host, Pastor Eric.
I'm Pastor Eric, and I am here with two very special guests who have some very special questions, and I cannot wait to dive into what those questions are. But before we do that, I want to introduce them. So I'm going to start with the person on my right. Would you like to introduce and say what your name is and how old you are?
My name is Camden, and I am 8 years old.
Okay, so Camden, you're 8, and then I want to introduce my other friend on my left. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
Hi, Elizabeth. How old are you?
I'm 9.
9. Okay, so you two are pretty close in age. We're going to jump into the questions that you have. All right. So, why don't we start, Elizabeth? Do you have a question you want to start off with? Okay, let's hear it.
How does Jesus control the weather?
That is a really good question. I'm not sure how good my answer is going to be.
I think that maybe he's like, oh, today I think should be sunny, and then he snaps his fingers, and then it just turns sunny in the morning. I don't know.
I mean, do either of you remember a story in the Bible when Jesus does control the weather?
Actually, no, I don't.
There's a time, we can read it in a couple different books, but in Mark chapter 4, Camden, what is it? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I think I remember one of them, but it wasn't technically weather. It was all the rain and all the water.
Waves. Where was Jesus? Where was he?
No, in Noah's Ark. Big waves and all the rain.
I remember that.
Now it's coming back. So it wasn't Noah's Ark. That was a little bit earlier.
I know.
Yeah?
I think it was the time when Jesus was on a boat with a bunch of people, and it was storm and rain.
Yes, and do you know who those people were?
And he was napping, and then I forgot what their names were, but they were just we're gonna die, and then Jesus literally just woke up and he's like, no deal, I'm Jesus, and literally I think he snapped his fingers and the storm stopped.
So yes, you are right there, so close. He was with the disciples, okay, and they were in the boat, going from one side of the lake or of the sea to the other in this big storm. Can you believe Jesus was able to sleep in a storm?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I wake up when somebody snores, right? I can't believe sleeping through a storm.
My sister snores while she sleeps.
Oh dear.
And then I literally wake up and she's like, and I'm like, goodness, I wish I did not share a bed with her.
It's a good thing that you don't snore, right?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so I don't know if Jesus snored or not, but he was asleep on the boat, and the storm rose, and the disciples were freaking out, and so they woke him up. And in Mark chapter 4, verses 35 through 41, it says that Jesus stood up and he said, "Peace, be still." And so he didn't snap his fingers, right? But he said, "Peace, be still." And then it got really calm. And what do you think the reaction of the disciples was?
It was a, oh my goodness, Jesus, you're amazing. Let's praise you.
Yeah, they were like, who is this that can control the weather? And Elizabeth, that's why I love your question, because you're like, how does Jesus control the weather? And so I have some sad news. I actually don't know how Jesus controls the weather. I know.
Such a good question.
It's so good, except what we do know, and this is what the disciples realized, is that Jesus is God if he can control the weather. And, I think a lot of times, Jesus, he probably allows the weather to just kind of flow and, take its course. But if he needs some wind to come along, or if they need rain or sun, he is God, and he is able to look over the weather. But if you could control the weather, what would you do?
Probably I would make it sunny 1 week, then cloudy the other week. No. I'm probably the first week. I'm gonna make it snow because like name one person who doesn't like snow. Like in the middle of summer, that would be crazy.
That would be.
I just love the pool, and then like maybe you had like you're chillaxing in your pool, and then all of a sudden starts snowing. And
Then you
like,
would literally be chillaxing.
Yeah.
You'd like go for a cannonball and then you'd land on
Chillaxing.
ice. That would not be not be good. This is really revealing to me how important it is that we are not in control of the weather. Because can you think how chaotic it would be if we got to choose the weather?
Oh yeah.
Okay, Camden, we're going to move on. I want to hear what your question is, or one of your questions. Let's hear it.
Okay. One of my questions is, if Easter Sunday and Black Friday are 2 days away from each other, then why did Jesus die and then rise again 3 days?
That's a good question.
That is a good question. And just to clarify, so you're talking about Easter and then Good Friday, right? Good Friday.
Yeah.
And so we go to Good Friday, and then you're saying it's 2 days apart, and then we celebrate Easter. Yet in the Bible, like in many places, like in 1 Corinthians 15 or Luke 24, it says that Jesus died and rose. How many? 3 days later. So what's up with that? Well, let's think of it this way. Do either of you have family that lives in the area, like lives near you? Maybe you visit them for a few days?
My grandpa like lives so close that I could walk there by myself. I've memorized.
You've
the way.
memorized the way. Okay,
Yes.
that's good. That's impressive. But let's pretend for Thanksgiving, you're going to go to your cousin's house and you're going to stay there, all right?
Yeah.
Let's say you go over on Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then you come home on Friday, all right, after Thanksgiving. How many days would you say that you will be, you're going to go there on Wednesday and you're going to come home on Friday. How many days would you say you were at your cousin's house?
I would say she would be there for 2.5 days, because if you arrived at Wednesday, you get half of the day there.
Okay.
Then next day, you get a full day there.
Uh-huh.
But then the next day is Friday, so you have to go home.
So that is a very interesting way of describing how much time you would spend at Camden's cousin's house, right?
Yeah.
Now, we tend to describe the days based on how many exact hours, and we're very precise. Well, in the Bible, the people who were writing it, they were Jewish. And in their tradition, when they kind of were talking about days and dates, they kind of rounded up. You'd ever do math, where you kind of round up. Like if you round the number 8 up, it's, round it to 10. Well, they rounded the days, and for them, any part of a day, even if it was maybe 6 hours or 12 hours of a day, it counted as a day. And so I know. So in Jewish culture, when they were writing about what happened, you have Jesus was crucified on what day? We say, on what day was it?
I think it was like
Good Friday, right? So Friday, right?
Not Black
Crucified. And then he was in the tomb that was sealed all day on Saturday, right? And so that was another day. And then he rose early in the morning on Sunday.
Yeah,
so
basically,
if you count each one of those as a full day, how many days is that?
3 days.
3 days.
But if he rose early in the morning in hours, it would be 3.5 days.
Well,
I would say.
Yeah, you think?
I would say maybe.
Because we'd have Friday
don't know.
1 day, Saturday 1 day, and then Sunday morning is the third day. So it was just, they kind of look at time and, in the day a little different. Okay, Elizabeth, coming back to you. You've got one other little question you wanted to ask? All right.
What's Jesus's favorite food?
What do you think his favorite food is?
I think it's either like bread or like maybe like fish, because that's literally the only things that they ate.
Oh, you think that's the only thing that they ate?
Now you say that, maybe no.
I know they drank wine.
Yeah, they
definitely.
did. They did have
That's
wine.
Probably, water.
Water and wine.
You know what else grows in that Mediterranean area that I like? A lot of kids might not like it, but I really...
Carrot?
olives. Do you like olives?
I mean, I've never tried them actually.
Okay, after this, you go home. You're like, Mom, Dad, I need to try an olive. Okay, they're really good. I'm sure he had olives, but you're right, Elizabeth, in saying that like Jesus, he probably did eat a lot of fish. And he probably had a lot of bread. That was very common back then. But, I don't think we're going to know on this side of earth what Jesus's favorite food was. But maybe when we get to heaven, we can ask him.
Oh, yeah. Man. We could be like, hey, brother, what's your favorite food? And then Jesus be like, well, blah, 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 blah.
I don't know what blah, blah, blah is, but I'm sure it tastes really good.
His answer.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. Camden, you've got one more question?
Yeah.
Okay.
My next question is, what is heaven like?
Girl,
do you have about 3 hours? Can we talk for 3 hours? I'm just kidding. I'm
probably going to miss some of my time.
So that's a big question with some big answers, and we're just going to scrape the surface. Here's the cool thing. The Bible tells us a little bit of what heaven looks like, and heaven is where God dwells, right? It's where his throne is. It's where he is. And in the Bible, there were a few people that actually had visions of God in heaven, in his throne room. And you can read about it, all right, in Ezekiel 1 or Isaiah 6, and it talks about what the throne room looked like. And of course, for Isaiah and Ezekiel, what they're seeing is something that they've never seen before. And they're trying to come up with words to describe what the throne room of God is like. And it says that there were creatures in the throne room praising and worshiping God that he had never seen. Creatures called seraphim that they have 6 wings and they cover their eyes. It's amazing. You should read Isaiah chapter 6 or Ezekiel 1, and you can kind of get an idea for what the throne room of heaven looks like. Now, Camden, I want to pause because I want to ask you a question. Are you asking what is heaven going to be like for us, or what is heaven like where God dwells now? What are you thinking?
I'm just thinking for ever. It doesn't matter if people kind of right now and when I'm in heaven, because I want to know what it looks like so I can be prepared.
Oh, so you make prepared?
Name one child who doesn't want, my mom, and she would always tell me that, probably, heaven has, golden streets, a golden gate. And then, when you go to heaven, I always thought that, when you open the golden gates open by itself, and then Jesus is there, and you're like, let me see, let me look at your
your name on the checklist,
your name and everything
book
that you did in life, and maybe
that brings up a really good question. So how does somebody go to heaven? Is it based on being really good? Is that how people go to heaven?
No, it's usually because of what you do. If you could be really nice, but also you can rob stores, say bad words. You could be really nice to people, but rob stores and be say bad words.
The good news is we don't go to heaven based on if we're really good or if we're kind of good. We go to heaven because of what Jesus did on the cross.
Yes.
All right. Well, girls, thank you for asking those questions. Those were wonderful. And I don't know about you, but that made me think of 20 other questions. But we don't have enough time in this podcast. And I hope anybody listening will talk with their parents, or maybe they can talk to their pastor about more questions that they have. So with that said, Elizabeth and Camden, would you like to say goodbye to everybody who's listening?
Yes, goodbye. Bye.
All right. Well, I want to thank you.
Mom and Dad.
Yeah, I want to thank you both for asking your questions and say thanks to everybody who's listening.
Thank you.
And for everyone who
Thanks for
listened, I hope
listening,
you
guys.
enjoyed our time together answering some doozies. I'm Pastor Eric, and remember, no matter how big your questions are, our God is bigger, and he wants us to be honest when we have a doozy of a question. So don't stop asking questions
Ask the doozy.
and keep wondering.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.